If you have a choice between taking a clinic and taking a camp, I suggest taking a camp. I mean, my reasoning for camps and not clinics is so that the paddlers get more out of it. And that's what it's all about, right? When someone comes to me in a camp and they leave a better paddler, it's satisfying for me. I mean, that's why they came. They want to get better. When clinics are, I think they're awesome. They're a ton of information. You know, you can go to clinics from a lot of different people and you'll get some sort of information from everybody that you can take home. But the question is, like, do you remember it properly when you go home? Do you just think, oh, they said this, or oh, I heard this, or I think this, and oh, maybe it was top hand press down. No, maybe it was push forward. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can just go home and think I know what they were talking about when you took this clinic. Because unless someone is watching you from the outside, because you can't see what you're doing to improve, you can only feel. And if you're not doing video constantly, you won't be able to know if you're changing. But when you're in a training camp, you're sitting there and the second or third day comes and someone's telling you you're still not pushing your top hand down, or you're still not straight on your bottom arm, or you're still not setting your blade in the front. After 3 days, you kind of get an understanding of, okay, I might feel like I'm doing this, but the fact is I'm not, right? So if there's someone outside working with you for that 3 to 5 days, which I think are perfect numbers, you can actually go home and be a better paddler. And at that point, you remember, like, you understand the feeling of what it felt like, right? And the hardest, you know, there's hard things about changing your technique, and one of them is you can't see yourself, right? So you think you're changing something, and you'll do a clinic and you'll come in another year and do a clinic with the same person, and you know, 90% of your habits are still going to be there, right? Because you've just practiced what you thought you felt, right? You got to have that outside view. I started coaching in 1986. I started coaching kayaking in 1986. And then in 89, I went to coaching K1. So for 10 years, I ran basically the Hawaii Canoe and Kayak team, and I was national development coach. I spent a ton of time at various Olympic training centers with various Olympic coaches, learning a lot about paddling. And I started coaching outrigger paddling, I think it was 09. Luckily, I had worked with some of the best coaches in the world, and that allowed me to learn so much about technique and so much about training that when I applied it to outrigger, it was actually pretty easy. You know, it was just basic stuff that you had to teach the paddlers, and how to be together, and efficiency with your body, and training plans, and how to train properly and smart and not just hard. Yeah, so I've been doing it for probably 30 years, maybe more. And I'm still learning. You know, as time goes on, you just are always out there to find out what's the newest thing happening. And let me rephrase that. You're trying to find out what the newest proven thing is happening. You know, I don't just sit in my shower and go, I think this is going to work tomorrow. I kind of look at whatever everybody's doing, what the best paddlers in the world are doing, what the best coaches in the world are doing. And how do you put that to words at that point so that people can understand it? And to me, that's the key of being a good coach, is if you can break down the physics of the stroke and tell people in a way that they can understand it and it gets through to them. And, you know, coaching is an art, right? Because you can coach someone for 10 years and tell them to fix their top hand, and somebody else comes in and tells them it in a different way, and boom, they get it. And you're sitting there going, I told you this for 10 years, how come you didn't get it, right? But, you know, the truth is, everybody has to, you know, see, hear, or feel it in a different way. So as a coach, you have to be able to come up with new creative ways of telling someone what to do to fix their habits. And as we all know, habits are extremely hard to fix.